Welcome to this special edition of the I Am GPH podcast. My name is Melody Goodman. I'm the Dean of the NYU School of Global Public Health and a professor of biostatistics. I am delighted to be your guest host for this week's podcast because we're celebrating our 10th anniversary. And I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Cheryl Healton, who's the founding Dean of NYU GPH and a professor of public health policy and management. We are reflecting on a decade of our accomplishments while looking ahead to the future of our school and the impact that we've made in public health. So Dr. Healton, take us back to the beginning. What was the spark that led to the creation of the public health school at NYU? What did it feel like to be building something from the ground up?
Well, the first action that created a public health institute at NYU was the precursor to the development of the school. And that happened as the result of a committee that looked at whether an interdisciplinary inter-school institute would be a good addition to the academic environment and the research environment here at NYU. And the decision was to go ahead and do that. I was recruited by a search committee to take on that role and to be Dean for Global Public Health was my second title, with the idea that possibly a school of public health would be viable. As it turns out, we were so popular, such a place that people wanted to come to study public health, that we were amazed at how quickly the student body expanded. And that, I think, got the university very excited about moving as quickly as possible to become an accredited school of public health and to really build out a world-class school of public health here at NYU, which I believe we now have.
Now that we're here at 708 Broadway, which is our school's home, how does it feel being here? What's going through your mind?
Well, I'm very grateful to the Central University for identifying the space and for making the enormous investment that it took to renovate not one but two contiguous buildings, and to the team here at the school, Amanda Garofalo, and as well as Coylin Gomez, who spent countless hours making this become a reality. And then, of course, the central administration buildings team and design team that made this one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful building on the NYU campus. It's our nest where we all get to live and where we can have a fulcrum for attacking these key problems in public health and growing young people from a gleam in their eye for public health to just determined to change the world through the work they do in public health. So it's a wonderful place, and I'm just thrilled that it exists.
I love walking into 708 Broadway every day. I love to see School of Global Public Health on the outside of the building, so I'm immensely appreciative for the work you did to get us here.
Dr. Goodman, you were interim chair of the biostatistics department and also served as dean of research during my tenure. How have you seen the school grow, and how has research evolved at GPH?
So one, I want to say I think it's your fault that I was in both of those roles, and I'm going to ask you a question about that after I answer your question. For me, having a first career in investment banking has always been exciting to build new things. I didn't really enjoy the taking apart things so much, but I did enjoy building new things. And I remember when I applied to NYU, I applied to be in the epidemiology department because there was no biostatistics department. And so it was exciting for me to be the first hire in our biostatistics department. And I remember when you asked me to be interim chair, I looked around and was like, not that many of us. I think it's something I could handle. I was like the main full-time person. But at that time, I didn't really think I wanted to be in academic administration. And so this is part of my question for you. I think I had voiced that to you, and I think you waited maybe a year. I'm not even sure if it was a whole year before you came back and said, why don't you try a different role, which is our Dean of Research role, which I loved. I loved that role. I feel like I was really, I always tell people I'm Glenda the Good Witch. I was really like helping faculty do what they want to do and try to build space for them to be innovative in their research space. But I guess my question for you is, how did you determine that someone like me might be a good interim chair, might be a good dean for research, especially when I was personally so hesitant?
Well, some of the best people for leadership positions are the most hesitant. And there's a reason for that. They love what they're already doing. They have a huge comfort level in what they're already doing. And sometimes the move from doing the hardest work of advancing knowledge and educating students, the notion of moving away from that is somewhat intimidating on the one hand, but what I've learned in my experience is the people that you want to do those jobs, those management jobs, are people who really care about the research enterprise and really care about the students and the people that are supporting those two enterprises, and who will be kind leaders. Kind leaders make the world go round. We're very excited to celebrate the school's 10th anniversary this year. What does becoming dean on the 10th anniversary mean to you?
I think it's a super exciting time to be dean of what I think is an amazing school of public health. I think for me, the excitement comes from seeing what this community has built in the first 10 years. And to be quite honest, I hope I don't dream too small. Like, I just don't know if you thought we would be here when you started 10 years from now. And I'm excited what we can do in the next 10 years, especially with the team that we have at the school. I do think this is a critical moment in public health. And while I never thought I'd be a spokesperson in that way, I do think I have a real passion for the field. And so I'm excited to speak up and be a spokesperson for what I think is a really important field in this really critical moment.
How can GPH prepare students to meet this moment and have a positive impact when they enter the profession?
So one of the things that I started to think about is, when did I fall in love with public health myself? And I realized that I fell in love with public health when I was in graduate school. And so I really want NYU GPH to be the place where our students fall in love with public health, because I think those of us who work in public health, we know this is not a career, it is a calling. It is something you're drawn to do. And I think once our students fall in love with it, they will figure out, your passion, let your passion guide you. I think they'll figure out how to do the important things. I think also in this moment, it's important for us to prepare our students for change and to prepare our students for innovation. I don't know what the future holds for public health, but I do think we can train people who will be flexible, adaptable, and prepared to lead, even though I don't know what they will be leading at this moment. So, Dr. Hilton, you are still teaching at GPH. What do you think are the most critical skills students need to succeed?
Well, you've just talked about some of them. They need to be innovative. They need to have heart. That is, they have to love what they're doing, I think, to really do a great job. But they also need to be aware that public health is not automatically loved by everyone, that it's important to make the case for public health, and it's important to be a guiding light in moments of difficulty, because public health is always surrounded by problems, real serious life-threatening problems. And to navigate those waters, you need to be smart, but you also have to understand that not everyone has a perfect motivation, and you have to become politically astute and able to persuade people to do the right thing, really. As you look ahead, what are your priorities as dean to ensure that GPH is positioned for continued success?
I think this year we're really focused on curriculum review and really revitalizing our curriculum to make sure that it's prepping our students. I want to make sure that our students have an exceptional experience when they're here, that they think back at their time at grad school with fondness. I want to make sure that the impact of our school is really seen both on the local and the international level, and that we're thinking about enhancing our educational offerings to meet the market needs. Are we upskilling the current public health workforce? Are we offering the types of courses that students are most interested in and are going to prepare them for jobs? I also want to make sure that we're engaging our alumni and we're really fostering. We have a really great community. I think when you come into GPH and you come into this building, that's what I always tell prospective students, is just feel the energy and feel the community that you would be joining. But I want to make sure that we continue to foster that and to enhance it, that we're bringing our alumni back. We have 10 years of alumni of our school, that we're getting them involved. We're having the people that are in the field mentoring our students and preparing them for the workforce. And I also want to make sure we show our alumni how far we've come since the time that they've been here, so that they join us on the journey for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So you were our founding dean. I imagine when you started, you might have had some visions for the future. But now that we're 10 years in, what do you hope that our school will be known for in the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now?
Well, I think that having a school of public health on Broadway in Manhattan, in the age of great complexity for public health on a global scale, means, in a sense, the world is NYU GPH's oyster. And my hope is that we capture it in every possible way. And to me, the greatest testament to that is our impact on the world through our research and through the work that our students do, engaging both domestically and on a global scale in addressing, the many problems that we have as a world, and in a sense, making the world a better place.
What is some advice that you would give me as I take on the role of dean of this school? And particularly, I feel like you almost cultivated who the next dean of the school was going to be. How do I use some of those insights to find the next sort of leadership team for our school?
Well, first, my advice is to be aware of the old adage, tall trees catch the wind. So as you take on a leadership role, you can please some of the people some of the time, but you cannot please all of the people all of the time. And you know that, and you'll handle it beautifully because you have fortitude, vision, and bravery. And that's kind of the golden triangle. And you have it all, absolutely. And so I trust you completely to be sort of the best dean the school has ever had so far. And then your second part of your question is how can you identify new leaders? You probably won't get to pick the new dean, but you can pick your own team. And there I can see already you've done a terrific job, and you'll have more opportunities to pick key leaders. And again, I keep coming back to people who are there to support the faculty and support the students, but also who have a vision and know how to execute their sub-vision within the overall mission in a way that navigates people's complex emotions and makes it a kind and happy place to be. What advice would you, Dean Goodman, give to students as they begin their studies at GPH and then embark upon their careers in public health?
I think the advice that I would give them is to take advantage of everything the school and the university and the city has to offer them. So I think the School of Global Public Health is a great community, obviously, but we sit inside this well-known and global university, New York University, and I always tell students, take advantage of everything we have in the school, take advantage of everything there's at the university. But I particularly think learning global public health in New York City, which is a global city, we have what President Mills has called our location endowment. So often there's a financial endowment, but here we have a location endowment. And I don't know that our students take full advantage of what it means to be training in New York City. I also want our students to really think about what drew them to the field, what they're sort of passionate about, and what is the thing that's going to carry them when the days get hard. We all know in public health, when the challenges seem insurmountable, the resources seem scarce, what is the thing? What is the light that's guiding you to move forward? I hope they find that light here while they're at GPH and then use it to sort of, passion can really drive you forward. And so I hope our students take the fire that's lighting inside of them here and go spread it all around the world. Thank you for this conversation, Dr. Healton, and thank you for your leadership and your resilience in building such a wonderful school. I am sometimes intimidated by stepping on the foundation for what you have built, but I also think it is a great stepping stone for someone like me to take us to the next step. We're so grateful for what you have done for us as a school, and I want to say now that I'm in this role, I have immense appreciation for the job you did to get us here. And I'm excited to see what happens to our school in the next 10 years.
Well, thank you for having me. And I'm equally excited for what you will do in this wonderful, wonderful position.